Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. My dear sisters, and welcome to Women's AM. With news, discussion and more, it's sure to be an action-packed show. And today we're covering a topic which is sure to be intriguing. And here to help us in our discussion, we have our Women's AM panel. Today we have our Women's AM regulars, Sister Nazia and Sister Shahida. Assalamu alaikum. How are you both?
Good,
alhamdulillah. Great to see you, sisters. And of course, we have our very special guest today, Sister Zara Faris from the Muslim Debate Initiative. Assalamu alaikum, sister.
Wa alaikum assalam.
How are you?
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. Great to see you back on the show.
Thank you for having me back again.
So, sisters, you're probably wondering what this plate here is all about. See, my banter question today is Marmite, yay or nay? And I thought I can't, just ask you the question. I've got to, have the sisters try out a little bit of a
you already
Marmite
said
on
nay,
crackers
sister,
here.
Nay.
You haven't tried it yet, Sister Shahina. So I'm going to pass a cracker here to Sister Zara. Sister Zara, you've got to take it. You can't leave me hanging here.
Can we start at that end of the table?
Start on that end of the table. Sister Nazi looks excited. I know you like Marmite, don't you, sis?
Are you giving it away?
There we go.
I do actually.
Okay, Sister Shahina, you got to try a little bit, sis.
Oh, bismillah.
I put
Very
the
nicely
Marmite on the
spread
crackers
out.
for you. Thank you. That was my artistic, creative work there, Sister Zara.
I noticed there isn't one for you.
No, there's not one for me. I'm the commentator in all this. Sister Shahina, what's that facial expression about?
Sorry. Well, mine's yay.
Yours is yay. Shahina?
Sorry, that is disgusting.
Oh no, Sister Shahina really didn't enjoy that. Sister Zara, what do you think?
It's an acquired taste.
Acquired taste.
It is an acquired taste.
There's a lot of acquiring. You look like you're contemplating this.
I am
you're
contemplating. It's taken me back to the days when they used to sell Twiglets. I don't know if they still do.
Okay.
But it very much tastes like Twiglets.
It reminds of that. So is it a yay or nay for you?
I'm indifferent.
You're indifferent to it. Sister
If I
Shahina's
was
just
served it
gulping
as I
down the
was just
water.
now.
That's okay. I'll eat it in break.
We can enjoy some more of this in the break. Absolutely. Well, moving on to our next segment, let's go to News Bites. In this segment, we take a look at articles of interest from around the world, and we've got another varied selection for you sisters. So what's our first article?
Okay, I have a selfie named by Oxford Dictionaries as word of 2013, and that's on the BBC News. So it's one. The word self is for this year, and they've put it on Oxford Dictionaries. It says that the word has evolved from a niche social media tag into a mainstream term for self-portrait photograph. I'm sure you know that, Sister Hassana. You're like a social media addict. No?
Oh, sis, you're giving it all away here, honestly.
Alhamdulillah.
I wouldn't go so far as addict. Alhamdulillah.
And we also have, from the Daily Mail, schoolboy 13 spent years raping little girl, age younger than 8, after watching internet pornography. This is really, really horrifying story, actually. I think it just again reinforces the fact that the pornography, the sexualization of this has such an impact. You're not just having adult aggressors now; it's got trickled down to children aggressing, attacking each other in that way.
Product of sexualized society.
Yeah, and it's really, really sad story. I don't want to go too much into it because it's quite horrifying.
It's disturbing. When I was reading the story, I was actually just completely horrified and taken aback by the state in which this child was kind of exposed to things like pornography and the effect it had on him. At one point in the article, they talk about the fact that the child couldn't understand the difference between right and wrong.
Because it became such a norm in the household. The mother completely neglected him. What it claims is that the mother had some knowledge that he's accessing this kind of stuff, but she did nothing about it.
Sister Zara, what's your thoughts on this?
I think it's truly harrowing, and it does show sort of that there is a cultural problem as well in liberal societies where anything is accessible to anyone. There is sometimes some restraint as to say, children under a certain age, we have like a legal age or an age of consent, but it's completely arbitrary if you think about the age that is plucked out of thin air. Similarly, there were discussions recently about lowering the age of consent, but on what basis? There was no basis on which to say, the age should be this or that. In Islam, however, we have clear guidelines as to what the age of consent or what the physical state of a person should be at that time. But for a liberal society, all these concepts of right or wrong are plucked out of nowhere, so it's no surprise then that even children as young as this age could resort to such, have access to and then resort to such harrowing sort of activity.
It's become such a dilemma in the society now. It's just, there's big questions as to how to deal with it. And we discussed this in the past, isn't it? Now they're talking about introducing soft porn to school, which, if you can't get rid of it, somehow legalize it or just control it. I really don't see how that's going to help. We also have, on the Metro, Hunt cruelty became the norm in NHS, where the article talks about cruelty towards patients becoming normal in the NHS without anyone really noticing, according to Jeremy Hunt. This is poor levels of treatment described by staff would not be tolerated in future, the Health Secretary said. So many stories have come out about this, midwives treating patients quite badly. I think also what it comes down to is I think NHS being bombarded with I think one of the stories you're going to cover, isn't it, about alcoholism and, they're having to deal with patients that's unnecessary when they've got real patients. And if they're not being funded and fund is being taken away, I suppose sort of leads to that. We also have in the Metro, pupils and parents sent to see their breadmaster. This is where schools are setting up clubs to feed family, give them free meals, so to stop them from going hungry. And we've discussed this also in the past, where children are going to school and not focusing because they're coming in hungry, and schools are taking the initiative to do something about it. Just again, it's telling us the state of the economy at the moment, the fact that in this first world country, children come to school hungry. So it's
unfortunate, absolutely.
Yeah, and we have Shakir Ahmer in Guantanamo. Where is it? It's somewhere here.
We've got the article there. I mean, that was a really, that was a really sad article. When I was reading through it, I was kind of struck by what he was saying and the reality of the situation that he was portraying there. Tell us a little bit more about that one, Sister Shahina.
Yeah, so the headline here is Guantanamo's last UK inmate Shakir Ahmer speaks from cell, and this is on the BBC News, where a reporter was reporting from outside, and they could hear him shouting from the cell, who was shouting here. This was on channel CBS, and he was shouting from his cell, asking reporters to tell the world the truth, either leave us alone or tell the world the truth. And he talks about the treatment and such. Thing is, it just begs the question, the fact that you have the American presidents go up there and talk about, a civilized society, a civilized community, a civilized world, justifying wars to turn this into a better world. Yet, right on, they have
on their doorstep, they've got humanitarian. I mean, they're flouting human rights, isn't it?
I think there's a lot in what he says, and it's definitely an article which I'm sure there is going to be lots of discussion about this article. I mean, Sister Zara, what's your take on this?
I think it's just another manifestation of the incredible injustice that's happening, not just with one individual, but many. We hear about Shakir Ahmer, and how many more are there? With Shakir Ahmer, his case is as flagged to us as particularly unique because there's no legal basis for him to actually be behind bars.
Because they've actually cleared him.
Well, that's
correct.
Something
still he's in there.
That is coming out in the article.
The fact is that the prisoners should have basic rights. They're not even fulfilling those basic rights.
Yeah, absolutely. Jazakallah khair for that selection, Sister Shahina. Sister Nazia, talk us through yours, inshallah.
Yeah, I've got some articles. These are the ones that caught my eye. Basically, from the NBC News, unlikely we'll ever know a grim, chaotic count after Philippines typhoon. So this is talking about the death toll, that it's going to be very difficult to gauge the full extent of what's happened. Mail Online, toddlers who use tablets or smartphones may develop long-term problems with their hands, fingers, experts warn. So what they're saying is the fingers, the muscles are being sort of not used, and it's going to have implications with handwriting. Everybody, get your sledges out. UK weather, Britain braces for 2-week cold snap as the snow sweeps in. So this is from The Independent.
I'm not complaining. I love the snow.
On a more serious note, Mail Online, meteoric rise in alcohol-related deaths as a result of young people drinking heavily in their teens. So, what's happened here is experts have criticised David Cameron over this whole issue. The top liver disease experts are saying that there's a meteoric rise in terms of alcohol-related deaths amongst young people, and there's obviously calls for the government to tackle this issue And what's happened is that liver specialists are saying that young people as young as 20 are dying due to excessive alcohol. And it's incredible. I mean, the numbers, what they're saying is for UK and Western European countries, the numbers are actually increasing. And what also is happening is, obviously this is an implication upon the NHS. Hospitals are seeing a lot of admissions in terms of alcohol-related cases, and it's at an all-time high of 1.2 million a year. Professor Gilmore, who's actually what he's suggesting is that they need to do these kind of suggested district hospitals where they have like a centre, create an alcohol care teams that can deal with this, so it takes the pressure off the hospitals. And by doing this, also what they're saying is that they could save 1.6 million a year in reducing future admissions. So obviously this is having a huge impact upon the NHS. And it's such a huge issue because there are implications of alcohol within society. I know, yesterday we were covering the case of cousin marriages and how that's affecting the disabled children that are born. Well, in this instance, I was looking at statistics that out of 800,000 children born in the UK, 6,000 of them suffer from alcohol, a fetal alcohol spectrum, which ranges from disabilities, learning disabilities. There's such horrendous effects as a result of the alcohol, which kind of shows you it's something that, although it's a recreational drink, but it has such far-reaching consequences on society. Well, it's horrendous, absolutely horrendous.
For that selection, sisters. Alhamdulillah, great start to the show, and it's always great to get a roundup of the day's headlines, alhamdulillah. Well, with GPU around the corner, for those of you who've been eagerly waiting to find out how to win GPU tickets, well, the wait is up. All you have to do is answer the following question: which of these is not a category in the GPU Awards? Is it A, the Community Activist Award, B, the Civil Courage Award, or C, the Lifetime Achievement Award? To enter, all you have to do is email your name, your answer, and your email address to womensam@islamchannel.tv. In addition, we'd like you to suggest a topic that you wish to see us sisters discussing on the show and what your favourite topic has been so far. The competition will be ending at 9 p.m. each evening. The winners will be notified by email and we'll send you a promotional code which will allow you to get your tickets. Entries with topic suggestion and favourite topics will only be accepted and put through. We'll see you in a few minutes where we delve straight into our main segment in Her Views, where we're asking, are men our standard? We'll see you after the break. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu, and welcome back. You're tuned into Women's AM with myself, Hassana, and on our panel today we have Sister Nazia, Sister Shahida, and our special guest today, Sister Zara Faris. Now, I mentioned in our introduction earlier, Sister Zara, you're from the Muslim Debate Initiative. For anyone who's not quite sure what that is, tell us a little bit more about it.
Sure. Well, it's an organisation that was set up in around 2009, and it's a group of brothers and sisters that essentially go out there and debate people on different aspects of Islam, different aspects of Christianity, and also different ideologies such as secularism and democracy and feminism. And so it really does what it says on the tin, Muslim Debate Initiative. We like to initiate debates.
Alhamdulillah.
I've been told that you're actually going to GPU. Is this true?
It's true.
Can you confirm this?
I can confirm. I can now confirm. We're going to be there on the Saturday morning, and we're going to be doing a workshop called Turning the Tables. So it's about presenting Islam in the West. We're going to have a segment on dealing with democracy, a segment dealing with feminism, and a final segment dealing with Islamic history. And we have some great speakers lined up for that, inshallah. And
looking forward to that then.
And on Sunday, we have a debate as well. So a debate, is religion more trouble than it's worth? And that's going to be on Sunday evening. And all the details are on the GPU website. And so people can go there and register. And
a bit unrelated, but tell us, you mentioned the experience you had in Zurich recently.
Yes, it was quite interesting. I was in Zurich for just over a week, mainly in the main city. And my experience was somewhat surprising. I was expecting that I would have somewhat of an unpleasant experience. I would feel yet again like an alien wandering around in a land that's not my own. However, I did feel almost invisible in a good way, in the sense that it didn't seem to bother anybody that I was covered or that I wear the hijab or that I'm even a Muslim. It was actually incredibly refreshing. And what's unusual is I was traveling with some American colleagues, and unfortunately they received more flack for being American than I did for being a Muslim. It's true, and I learned from them that apparently before Americans travel, they really need to think about where they're going because they're very conscious of the fact that they might be mistreated when they get there simply for being American.
Wow, well, we're looking forward to hearing your expertise on our subject today. So let's go straight to today's topic, Her Views, where today we discuss whether women are judged by men's standards. The need to improve the position of women around the world is an issue which is yet to be resolved. Both in the East and the West, the standard of life many women experience is still yet to be seen as fair. Whereas the plight is at least being taken with increasing seriousness and many improvements have been made, there are still examples of shocking oppression. Although we feel the need for improvement, the way forward, however, is less clear. Does equality hold the answers, or does the discussion need more direction? Well, today we hope to find out. And we'd love to hear your views on this. What are your views on this subject? Do you think that equality exists? You can join in our discussion by calling in live to the show. The number will be appearing on your screens throughout this segment, inshallah. Well, let's come to Sister Zara first and just kind of break down this subject a little bit. We talked about equality. What are the aims of equality, Sister Zara?
Well, I think there's two angles to look at when we look at this question. The first is who is advocating equality? What are their motivations? What are their limitations? What are the troubles that they face? And the second thing that has to be analysed in this question is what does equality actually mean? I'm going to go with the second one first because I think it will give more background as to why people advocate it.